Call to order the regular city council meeting for July 20th, 2022. I'd like to ask that everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll have invocation by Alderlady McDowell. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord God, we thank you. Another day we actually will come to this time to bless this city of Mark, bless the council member, our mayor, those residents that are present. Bless us as we do everything we stand in for in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Ackpower,
Here.
Alderlady Hampton Hauser, present. Alderlady McDowell, Alderman Jones,
Present.
Alderman Barron.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Approval of minutes for regular city council meeting minutes for June 15th, 2022.
Mayor Ed Powell,
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve the regular city council meeting June 16th, 2022 as presented with any noted corrections.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Barron, second by Alderlady McDowell for approval of minutes for regular city council meeting minutes for June 15th, 2022. Any question? Roll call.
Alderman Barron,
Yes.
Alderlady McDowell,
Yes.
Alderlady Hampton Hauser. Yes. Alderman Jones,
Yes.
motion carried.
Authorization, claims, and accounts, the bill list.
Yes, Mayor Ackpower.
Yes.
Make a motion that we approve the authorizations in the claim list for July 20th, 2022, which reads as follows. Corporate, $447,021.71. Water and sewer, $17,586.01. Solid waste, $106,741.21. We have motor fuel, $67,545.70. The Markham Senior Living Complex will be $45,449.23. The roller rink, $18,526.15. We have the Tiff Dixie Highway, $8,700. Would give us a total of $711,570.01. With manual checks adding up to $316,630.44, which gives us a grand total of $1,028,245.
Second.
Oh, 45 cents. My apologies, 45 cents.
A motion by Alderlady Hampton, second by Alderlady McDowell for approval of authorization, claims, and accounts, the bill list. Question? Roll call.
Alderman Jones,
Yes.
Alderman Barron,
Yes.
Alderlady Hampton Hauser. Yes. Alderlady McDowell. Yes. Motion carried.
Okay, we'll go right over to City Attorney's report. We don't have any presentations tonight.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and members of the public. The city attorney's report appears under 8. With respect to item 8A, there's a proposed resolution approving the extension and renewal of the reproclamation and declaration of a continued local state of emergency within the city of Markham, and approving the mayor's determination regarding modifications to in-person meetings in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, July 20th, 2022.
Mayor Ed Powell,
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve resolution number 22-R-686 as read by the city attorney.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Barron, second by Alderlady Hampton to approve resolution for extension and renewal of the reproclamation as read. Roll call.
Alderlady McDowell. Yes. Alderman Jones.
Yes.
Alderlady Hampton Hauser. Yes. Alderman Barron.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next, under 8B, we have a proposed ordinance. It reads as follows: an ordinance of the City of Markham, Cook County, Illinois, approving the City of Markham 159th Street and Spalding Avenue Tax Increment Financing District Redevelopment Project Area Redevelopment Plan and Project, 159th and Spalding Avenue, TIF District.
Mayor Ed Powell,
Yes.
motion that we approve ordinance number 22-0-2332, an ordinance of the City of Markham approving the City of Markham 159th and Spalding Avenue Tax Increment Financing District Redevelopment Project, Redevelopment Plan and Project 159th and Spalding.
Second.
Actually, Mayor, I need to amend that. My motion should read, waiving reading of ordinance number 22-0-2332.
Yes.
Correct, I was
Right.
gonna bring
Second.
that up. Okay, and so we have a motion by Alderman Barron and second by Alderman Jones to waive the reading for the ordinance for approving the 159th and Spalding tax increment financing as read. Roll call?
Alderman Barron,
Yes.
Alderlady McDowell,
Yes.
Alderlady Hampton Hauser,
Yes.
Alderman Jones,
Yes.
motion carried.
Mayor,
Yes.
make a motion that we approve ordinance number 22-0-2332 as presented.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Barron, second by Alderman Jones for approval of ordinance approving the 159th Street and Spalding tax increment financing project as read. Roll call, a question first. Roll call?
Alderlady Hampton Hauser,
Yes.
Alderman Jones,
Yes.
Alderman Barron,
Yes.
Alderlady McDowell, motion carried.
Next, we have under 8C, an ordinance of the City of Markham, Cook County, Illinois, designating the 159th Street and Spalding Avenue redevelopment project area pursuant to the Tax Increment Allocation Act.
Mayor Ed Powell,
Yes.
make a motion that we waive the reading of ordinance number 22-0-2333, an ordinance of the City of Markham, Cook County, Illinois, adopting tax increment financing for the 159th and Spalding Avenue redevelopment project area.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Barron, second by Alderman Jones to waive the reading for ordinance designating 159th and Spalding redevelopment project as read. Roll call?
Alderman Jones,
Yes.
Alderlady McDowell,
Yes.
Alderlady Hampton Hauser,
Yes.
Alderman Barron,
Yes.
motion carried.
Mayor, I
Yes.
make a motion that we approve ordinance number 22-0-2333 as read.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Barron, second by Alderman Jones for approval of ordinance designating 159th Street and Spalding redevelopment project as read. Question? Roll call?
Alderman Barron,
Yes.
Alderlady McDowell, Alderlady Hampton Hauser,
Yes.
Alderman Jones,
Yes.
motion carried.
Next, we have under 8D, the proposed ordinance of the City of Markham, Cook County, Illinois, adopting tax increment financing for the 159th Street and Spalding Avenue redevelopment project area.
Mayor Ed Powell,
Yes.
I make a motion that we waive the reading of ordinance number 22-0-2334, an ordinance of the City of Markham designating the 159th and Spalding Avenue redevelopment project area pursuant to the Tax Increment Allocation Act.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Barron, second by Alderman Jones.
He just did the one about the allocation act. That was 2333.
You're, Alderman, the attorney's correcting that you're going to need to go to item D, which would be the adopting of the tax
Right.
increment financing in itself for the redevelopment project. So if you can read off D, that probably would be good for the record. On the agenda,
Okay. I make a motion that we waive the reading of the ordinance of the city of Markham, Cook County, Illinois, adapting tax increment financing for the 159th Street and Spalding area redevelopment project area, which is what I believe I just read.
not
Second.
quite, but anyways, we got a motion and a second to waive the reading for the ordinance developing the TIF for 159th and Spalding redevelopment project area. Roll call.
Alderlady McDowell? Alderlady Hampton Hauser?
Yes.
Alderman Jones?
Yes.
Alderman Barron?
Yes,
Motion carried.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve ordinance number 22-0-2334 as read.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Barron, second by Alderman Jones to approve ordinance adopting TIF for 159th and Spalding redevelopment project area. Question? Roll call.
Alderman Jones?
Yes.
Alderlady Hampton Hauser?
Yes.
Alderman Barron?
Yes,
Alderlady McDowell? Motion carried.
I have nothing under item 8E, nor do I have anything under item 8F. I do have a matter under 8G, land and development. This is in reference to an offer to purchase surplus municipal real estate located at 2100 West 163rd Street here in Markham, with PIN number 29-19-308-014-0000. Just to bring you up to speed, with respect to our last meeting, you had asked me to prepare this for general offers, and we have in fact received an offer. We published the matter through the Daily Southtown, and as a result, do have an offer this evening. The sheet is in front of you. I've given it to you from Midwest Commercial Real Estate. Mr. Hanley is here this evening. The items that are listed within the item that's dated July 19, 2022, relates as follows. Okay. All right. With respect to the information that was answered, at least by one company, Connect Freight, they're indicating an interest in the property. Total square footage, 196,573 square feet. The price that is being offered is a cash offer, $493,000. The use, they intend, or at least would like to, at the, well, with approval by the city, they want to build an 11,000 to 15,000 square foot truck and trailer repair, office facility, paved land, fence, and lighting of the entire lot. So at this point, that is all that we have. I just want to confirm with Madam Clerk, did you receive anything by 4 p.m. this afternoon?
No, I did not.
All right, and in the notice itself, it did say that. And if I may ask Mr. Hanley as well?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Hanley, did you receive anything? No, sir. This is the only one that you did receive? That's right. All right, then. And with respect to that, then it's up to the council, incumbent upon the council, to decide whether or not you want to accept this offer, and then subsequently direct me to engage with Connect Freight and prepare a contract, possibly at the next meeting, and have that incorporated and ready for a vote by way of resolution. Somebody needs to put a motion on the floor as to whether or not they want to accept it.
Alderwoman tomorrow.
We'll make a motion on this.
Correct.
I make a motion to accept
Accept the offer.
to accept the offer to purchase surplus municipality real estate located at 2100 West 163rd Street in Markham, Illinois, so for 2A permit index number 29-308-014-000.
You want this one?
Yeah. Motion by Alderlady McDowell, second by Alderlady Hampton, to accept offer for purchase of municipal real estate located 2100 163rd as read. Roll call.
Alderman Jones?
Yes.
Alderman Barron?
Yes.
Alderlady McDowell? Yes. Alderlady Hampton?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And with that motion, does that also include directing me to go ahead and prepare a resolution for the next meeting?
It would be.
Yes.
Okay, okay. All right, I shall do that and have it ready at the next meeting. Other than that, that's all that there is with respect to 8G land development. I have nothing under 8H for personnel, nor do I have anything under 8I for litigation. Other than that, that's it for my report this evening.
Thank you, Attorney.
Thank you.
Okay, moving over to City Clerk's report.
Okay, I have a few announcements of events as well as a business license this evening for approval. I'll read the events first and move to the business licenses. The Indian Boundary Prairie's annual picnic will be held August 7th, 2022 at 12 p.m. It will be at the Midlothian Meadows at 159th and Pulaski, picnic shelter number 2. Bring your own lunch. City of Markham upcoming events, August 5th, Jazzing at the Park, that will be at Rosner Park. August 6th, the Back to School Parade, Jazzing in the Park is from 5 to 9 p.m. Back to School Parade is August 6th from 10 to 12, and a car show will follow. August 15th is the Back to School event here at City Hall, and that will be from 10 to 12. We'll move to the business licenses. The first one is Jack Harris Transportation, 2222 West 162nd Street in Markham.
Okay, we have a motion to open the floor to, I see Mr. Harris is here.
I make a motion to open the floor to Jack Harris Transportation.
Okay, Mr. Harris, would you please address the council? We have some questions. We need, oh, so sorry. Did you get, you second?
Second.
Okay, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, sorry about that. Mr. Harris, if you'd come forward to us, we'd like to ask some questions about the nature of your business, and council will ask you questions about, okay. Oh, is that, okay,
You can
good.
have it.
Okay, good.
To the mayor and to this cabinet, I'm informed that we were supposed to do this by line, so I didn't have anything with me. I just came up to see what the outcome was. But we have expectation of trying to bring something into the city. And one other thing we need an area where we can park with buses. We can bring that back into the city, which will give you some more access. But what we want to know is what the requirements are as far as the license, what we lack and what is necessary, what we need, and what are y'all expectations from them?
Okay, I think that when you filled this out with the building department, they didn't discuss any of that with you, Mr. Harris?
Actually, no, because I'm really retired, but my daughter and them, they're running the company. But my name is still up front, which means I'm liable, but they never informed me what was going on. I was on the impression that this was going to be an online question, a line answer. They informed me, so I came here for a different reason.
Oh,
So I came up here, we looking for a place that we can park buses and bring the revenue back to the city. Right now, we have an issue. Everywhere we go, nobody wants buses. In fact, that's why my hand left the city. We had the same problem in the city, that they don't seem to have something against school buses. So we've been in this business ever since 1972, and we always have an issue with buses parking. So when we try and find somewhere to park, there's always been a problem. Nobody want to let us in. So my question is, what we have to do to get into the operation in this city that because I've been here since 75, but we really haven't brought anything here that is suitable for the board to work on. We have, in my home, I don't even have sewage, but we're paying for sewage. So I wanted to know from you all what to expect and what I need to do. And I'll go back to the company and find out why they didn't come to the board meeting like I told them and bring the information, because I'm just standing because it's in my name, and I'm hoping they had all the information over to you, and that's what I was told. So you don't have anything?
Well,
Regard-
Mr. Harris, we do have an application. It's got your name on it, so I figured you were, I do understand. I do know a little history of you with the bus company for many years. This is in Old Lady McDowell's ward. I know that she mentioned that she had a visit to the site. But, you know, Mr. Harris, I will say you are correct in terms of trucks and buses. It's a difficult task for some communities want to take that on. I can tell you that, but I will say most of all, if you want us to hold on to this and have a talk with them, we can do that because they're not here. If you want the council to take action on this tonight, I'm sure they could. It's up to you.
If it's something that need to further be discussed, then yes or not. It's something that we can move on. I can stand and represent the company because I'm still the president.
Well,
So you,
council, what's your pleasure? You want to talk with, ask him about his business tonight here or what? This is your ward, Old Lady.
Well, excuse me for the record, it's actually mine's. Yopo, this is right by Yopo Expression, right?
No.
This is not, where is this located? Is it by your house?
no, it's on 62nd Street.
2222 162.
Right.
Oh, so okay, so you didn't get that spot. Okay. All right. So that's what he's asking about. Okay. I'm thinking ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
There's some land by his house that he was trying to acquire.
Yeah, some over
But this
there.
is something different. Okay.
I prefer if they get it ordered by the house, but in the meantime, we just have to do what we can do.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha. I'm sorry. Go ahead. He's talking about two different things.
How many buses do you have?
It's about, I guess, 10, something like that. No. 10,
And how
12.
long have you been in the?
And been
Yes,
since 72.
72.
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you all been over at the location at 22?
We recently put up to the company moved. I say about maybe 5 months. I'm not guessing, but we was parking in this over there in Poser actually, but they sold the building, so we had to move rapidly. So we were pointed to that area that had some land available, so that's where they moved to temporarily. Cause but I would like to have a permanent place for the company that we can have our own. I never like rent nowhere. But because of circumstance, we didn't have a choice. We had to just take what we can do. But if y'all can find some available property, we already purchased it. I would have to purchase it from Markham. That'll be fine too, as long as not too high. So if we all can provide us a pocket area, we'd be more than happy to pay. Because we did have property here, which the city bought us. We had 5 acres. We was planning on building a church, so. But the city said they need the property, so they bought it off us. Of course, everybody over there had to move when Amazon coming now, so they taking up everywhere they can find, look like. So we don't have any place really to go, no more temporarily, but we would love to have our own property if that's available, if that's possible. As far as the license, do we have enough information to clear that? Or do I need to come back with more information?
Well, I see it's completed. Council, what's your pleasure tonight? You want to move on this tonight? Well, I don't know what
Just
that means.
waiting on,
Mr.
I'm waiting on
Harris.
Alderman, it's your
I'm
call,
waiting,
Alderman.
I'm waiting.
But I did tell you, at least I kind of know the kind of feel for
Okay.
all of us, as much as we, make no mistake about it, I'll say it publicly. I love you, Mr. Harris, but I don't know about all them buses.
You don't like
That's all I
buses?
can tell you, because that's just where we're at with buses and trucks in the community.
Be honest.
And if there's a way to help you, I think all of us want to help you. But I just don't know how to quite do that, no matter where you go. We are up to our neck in trucks and up to our necks in buses. And we are choking on them, been choking on for a while. So it makes it tough for you. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Maybe you might want to let this go for tonight and see if we can visit. Alderman, you said you did get to the site though, right?
I did go
What-
to the side. I'll make a motion, thank you, Ms. Harris.
Mhm.
You can-
Okay. Any other questions,
Um,
comments?
What other, what else can that location be used for? You know, it seems like it's industrial. It's trucks over there already.
Where at?
Where he's trying to go now.
Well, you know, I can't tell everybody how to run their business, but I can kind of tell them what I think.
Right, I understand.
And only thing I think is that it'd be nice if these businesses would expand what they have, instead of trying to sublet land out and just tear up the street. And that's what we wind up with, is them, we don't even get tax off all the stuff that comes in our town. They just line it up in there and you just charge them, you do a head tax. They do it, we don't do it. We get nothing from it, but whatever the pollution or the garbage or the trash or how they tear the street up. So that's what happens, and it's unfortunate. But my suggestion is that the Ameritine people over there is that they use their property for their company. That's what it's there for. That's my thought, but you know, they might want to do something else, like talk to Mr. Harris. But I don't know how everybody feels about it. I don't have a vote at this point.
Right,
So,
right.
What about, excuse me,
You know.
cutting you off.
yes.
What about the property next door? They have more than enough what they're using. Is that in a way they can use part of that and diversify for commercial and other rent from that or buy from them? Or that's something different altogether?
I don't think, from my standpoint, Mr. Harris, I think that the convincing of getting into the property is what you have to explain to the council, not me. And I only mean that because you can see where I'm kind of at about the traffic and what it all brings. That's kind of where I'm at with it, but I don't have a vote. You need to try to ask them, just like Alderman Jones is trying to ask a question, and I think that he's trying to see if there's some common ground and some room to move with this. It appears that way.
Right. Because I was just saying that, you know what I mean, to help with the resources with the ground, we can always just put a fee, a service, a sticker on businesses that have a license. I mean, I support the big business like the small businesses. We just brought in Reconnect for $493,000. He's a small business. To me, there's no difference in a trucking company and a busing company. They both burn diesel fuel. To me, that's all. So I mean, it's just, you know, giving the little men a chance too. Just like the big man, Midwest coming in.
They got to eat too, you know.
Oh, yeah.
They got to eat, right? You know, it's about serving both parties.
Yes,
That's all.
my kids, some of them, they never had a job. That's where they feed their family, with the bus. So
Anyway, okay.
That's all.
y'all don't have to make a decision today, but make it by tomorrow. Okay.
Well,
Any more
I
questions?
have no further questions. See anything? All they do, Wanda, Vidal? I'm sorry. It's yours.
Well, I will say something before I forget anyway.
Okay.
And you are right, and I think I may have had this conversation with Alderman Barron in terms of the way that we are taxing. We need to visit that. So at least if we're gonna run all those buses up down 162nd, I know I was out there, we just paved it. We were putting pavement down there just a couple of years ago. And so, that's just that much more to come up, wait up and down the street to deal with. So we need to talk about how we're going to, if we're going to have more of this, then we're going to have to tax it to take care of the street. That's
Let me
all.
ask you, excuse me,
So we need to talk about how we can do that.
Okay.
can I ask
What's
a
fair is
question?
what's fair. That's, nobody likes taxes, but I don't think the residents need to pay for that street out of their tax money either. So that's all I'm saying.
Is that state property, city property, who it belongs to?
What'd you say, Mr. Harris?
Is that city property that the roads and things, or that
Oh,
state?
yeah.
So you all have to maintain it?
We already had, you couldn't even look like you were walking on the moon a couple of years ago down there from those trucks.
Okay. Well, buses not heavy as truck, no, they truck about twice as heavy as school buses.
I understand.
But what I'm thinking, if you had arrangement for a rental fee, but if they're gonna rent property, then they get a license to that effect, and you tell them what's involved, and then you go from there.
Right.
We have no control over anything, just
Right. Well, we'll
trying
have
to find
visit-
somebody.
We'll visit that.
temporary, okay.
And addressing that, so maybe we can visit that.
Yeah, come up with something for us, I appreciate it.
Any other
Okay.
questions?
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Motion to close the floor. Okay. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Harris.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, council, what would you like to do with this application tonight?
Mayor, I make a motion that we deny the business license for Jack Harris Transportation.
Second.
Motion by Alderlady McDowell, second by Alderman Barron to deny application for Jack Harris Transportation. Any other question? Roll call?
Alderlady Hampton Hauser,
Yes.
Alderman Jones,
No.
Alderlady McDowell, Alderman Barron,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, Mr. Harris will be in touch with you from the building department, okay? All right.
Next, we have Perot's LLC located at 2298 West 162nd Street.
I make a motion that we open the floor to Clear Rose LLC.
Is there a second?
Second. Sorry.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Good evening. Do we have a representative online tonight for Rose?
Yes,
go.
my name is Jay.
Okay, and this is Rose LLC, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, the city council here may have some questions of your business tonight. It looks that you want to do commercial truck parking and trailer parking and storage in this location. This is at 2298 162nd Street. Old Lady McDowell, this is your ward as well. So, questions tonight?
Yes, hi, Mr. Clear Rose. Can you tell us a little bit, tell the council a little bit more about the business that you want to bring in?
Mr. Perose, can you hear us?
I hear you. I didn't hear Ms. McDowell.
Okay, well, her question just was to, would you please tell us a little bit about the business that you have and what it is that you want to bring to the city of Markham?
Of course. So, Heroes Park. And we have 3 more parking lots in Harvey, South Holland, Marionette Park. Just over 1,000 parking spots between those 3 locations. What we do is truck and trailer parking. Our customers are typically small trucking companies or independent contractors who drive over the road. They need, they're on the road for about 2 to 3 and then they come home to visit the family for 2 and 4, and they need parking during that time while they're home.
So is there gonna be a building on that spot, or they just come there and leave the bus, the truck, and?
It will be just a lot with parking spots. They will just their truck trailer, which will not be running. Then they go to their home. They return a couple days later, typically pick up the truck and trailer, and they go on the road. So no building. I believe you and I met a couple of days ago. Gate there, and I believe our engineer, Mr. Hewer, submitted a plan of parking. Will be paved as well, and fenced to the south from the gate going east. So the whole parking lot will be secured and gated. It will be gate access to tenants only.
Do you know how many trucks are gonna be parked?
So the maximum amount of spots that we have planned, 37. From my experience, the parking is usually 30 to 50% occupied the whole time because those guys go over the road and drive the truck and trailer. If their truck is parked there for more than a week, they don't make any money. So they must be on the road good 3 weeks out of a month.
So you really don't know how many trucks probably will be parked there?
37, but from our
He has to stay forward. He has to stop, he's doing this and
Yeah, you-
fading in and out.
You might want to
You can't
just
hear.
kind of talk forward and hold still when you talk, because you're cutting in and out. It looks like he's got 137 spaces, that's what he said, because that's what his plan says. Do you have a copy of his plan? So it's 137 spots. He's just saying that the percentages, what would be there.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's somewhere down the right hand, middle right there about. Pavement plan, parking lot. Any other questions?
Mr.
Yes.
Rose, do you actually own this land now?
No, we do not. It's owned by K5, and they're also the company who will pave the lot. So we are just, we submitted everything to Mr. Robert Scanhorst, Assistant Chief. I met with Mr. Derek Champion as well. And they just gave us the information to attend the meeting tonight.
I have a question. I'm just trying to see what's the difference between Pre-Rose LLC, Midwest, and Harris Bus Company. Now, I mean, to get my vote, you have to put something on there. All you want is some land, and you know, and what do we get? What are we getting out of this? So you build this big space, you park cars there, and we get nothing. Trucks. You know, I mean, you gotta put a building on there. I need some property taxes or something, some kind of revenue. You know, there's nothing. I don't see no meat in the game for us. This benefits you. I mean, we just talking about bus companies and it's being small. You got a trucking company just going, you finna make millions, you know. And what does the city of Markham get out of this? I mean, let's. I'm for businesses. I'm also for everyone, the big and the small. But I don't see any way that this helps us bring revenue, you know, except turn this into a trucking company.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, truck a lot. So, you know, so, well, let's debate or talk about this after.
I'm just trying to ask him, what do you bring to the table? Mr. Joseph Malachi, what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the city of Markham?
I'm sorry, you're addressing Mr. Joseph or myself? I'm
Well,
PJ.
I think he's talking to you, but yeah, his
Also,
question.
Mr. Joseph is on the phone as well, on the meeting as well.
Okay, that's fine.
What'd he say?
Either
both
one
of
of
them
you
on the line.
can answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, either one
Valid
of you can answer.
question.
Just the question is from Alderman Jones, is what benefit do you believe you're bringing to the city of Markham with your business?
I don't know the village of Markham very well, but from our other businesses, obviously we pay taxes. I don't know where taxes go, and it's pretty high, I can tell you that. But also, all our local truck drivers, they get gas at the local diesel fuel. So that's another thing that other villages kind of appreciate our drivers do.
Okay, any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay, we have no other questions. Then thank you, Mr. Perose and Mr. Joseph. Did you all have any other comment to us?
Yes, if I may just say a couple more things. So we'll be more than happy to offer parking from the previous gentleman as well, Mr. Harris, I believe his name was. We like to help those guys as well. One thing we are very good at is maintaining a lot. We employ our own yard manager who visit the lot every day, our own cleaning crew. So we kind of take care of our lots. It's very clean, paved, secured access.
Okay, any other?
No, sir.
No?
No,
Okay.
sir. No, Mayor.
Let me just make one comment. And that is, we had something similar like this that was coming in. I think over at Johnny's was going to do something similar to this. And it was pretty organized. This seems to be more organized. And the reason why I mention this is because I don't know what the pleasure is tonight, but certainly at some point, maybe we talk about it as a council to try to find some place. Maybe this gets put on the table, but I'm just saying we're going to have a multitude of businesses in 2024, I believe it is, citywide, that are going to be looking for space. So we have to try to accommodate our residents and help them. Now, I'm not saying this is the answer tonight, but maybe we're not dealing with this tonight, but we may have to deal with it. And maybe Mr. Harris and the rest of the landscapers and everybody else around town with their buses and trucks and RVs are going to wind up somewhere. But let's think about it as a team of where this might go in town, and we end it, because we don't want all this truck and bus and all this stuff in people's front yards either. That's going to happen. And they're going to need some place to go. That's why we gave them all the time. So, sir, bear with us. I'm just trying to help keep the town together here so we don't hurt anybody. Because that's what we don't want to hurt any of it. I didn't like to have to see Mr. Harris walk out like that, but we've had our fill of it. But maybe something like this somewhere, we gotta consider it somewhere down the line. So maybe it's not tonight. Maybe we talk about this, because you know we put that ordinance out to clean everybody out, and all those are gonna make a lot of people mad.
Mayor.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mayor, I'm glad that you mentioned that. I do think that these applications or the individuals that come into our community, we're actually restructuring the structure of our city with abundance of transportation with trucks, truck parking, to the point where if someone in our city wanted to actually purchase a small piece of land or whatever, because they do know what's coming down the line, we don't have any room for them. And as well as Mr. Miller that just left here for the bus, that needed space for the bus, I think that application really do need to be revisited, once we can figure some things out. But at this particular point, I'm not going to actually rule or put my vote in reference to allowing this particular company to utilize that space at this time. I really do feel that we do need to sit down and revise that on an economic level to see exactly where we're going to be moving forward with these companies that are actually coming into our community. And I have to honestly say that Alderman Jones is absolutely correct. You know, we need to really revisit this and see exactly where we're going in reference to revenues coming into the city instead of actually piggybacking on other companies or whatever to make huge profits. So I really think we need to revisit this, and I know I won't rule on this here tonight at all. I won't vote on this one tonight.
Okay.
Well, there is one other aspect of this. We have Amazon in Markham, and I'm not sure how many trailers they're pulling in and out a day, but all these truckers, if you took a map of the United States and somebody was to give you a pin and say, put a pin in the middle of the transportation of the United States, we're there.
Yes.
You know,
correct.
And so, you know, it probably behooves us to at least consider going forward in a discussion that we need to provide someplace or to work with somebody so that these truck drivers can rent a spot for 3 days, because they're always parking at the shopping center. They're over by Walmart all the time. And I kind of feel bad for these guys because all they're trying to do is make a living too. And there's not a lot of places where you can park a semi, especially with a trailer attached.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just something to consider. I mean, I'm willing to have any dialogue with it, but you know, these guys are just trying to make a living just like the rest of us.
Yes, absolutely, and I'm in total agreement with you with that, Alderman Barron, just as well as Jack Harris Transportation as well is trying to make a living as well as a small company who has, I'm pretty sure, less revenue to actually move about and make decisions. So not stating that we're going to cut this out completely, or I'm not open to any suggestions on how we can move forward to make sure that we can be fair across the board. But I do think that it requires good conversation and some strategic moves at this particular time in reference to how we can accommodate particular companies coming in.
And I would also say that probably the majority of the trucks that are going to park in there will probably be empty. So, you know, but there should be a way for us to regulate it. And to be honest with you, I would like to have them all in a fenced lot with lighting and security, rather than, you know, park on the side of the road over there by the motel on 159th Street. I just as soon have them in one location if that's at all possible.
Yes, you know, it is a shortage right now, Alderman Barron, in reference to truck parking, and that is across the United States as well. Even if you're traveling on highways or sitting at rest stops or places of that sort or whatever, you'll see a lot of trucks that parked on the side as well. Yes, so there is a huge shortage of parking for trucks. But I think in this small municipality, we still need to make sure that we can strategically figure out a way how we can accommodate also smaller businesses that are actually in our community as well, just as well as the larger community, larger companies as well.
Let's.
So I think we need to just dialogue on it a little bit later, Mayor.
We'll take some time with this. I put it out there. I'm glad you all responded. I think that we got a lot of takeaway from it. So we'll have to close the meeting to them and make a decision tonight for this and then see where we go. We'll turn around. I'd like to turn around pretty quick though.
Yes.
To talk about this, all of this, whether it goes in whose ward, I don't know, but somewhere we probably need to be friendly to lives here and a
Yes.
few people that come by to do business with them, with something in mind to tax it,
Yes.
for benefiting the city, you know.
Right, definitely. But what I will want a building, because what happens next, they bring in a trailer park to park it there, and that's what they're gonna be doing business out of. I've seen this in my 16 years on the council.
correct.
They start off, oh, we're gonna do this, and then
Yeah.
there's a trailer park there for 15 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I see the future, you
No,
know?
and I agree. So, you know, this structure, I mean, this plan would be even nicer if there were a building.
A
on it.
building there.
Yeah, so we can, maybe that would be something we can talk about if, all right, well, let's close the meeting to this company, Mr. Burroughs Company. Is, second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Burroughs. We're going to make a decision this evening on your application. Council, what is your pleasure tonight with this application for Burroughs?
I make a motion that we deny the business license for Primrose LLC.
Second.
Motion by Alderlady McDowell, second by Alderlady Hampton, to deny application Burroughs LLC. Any other further questions? Roll call?
Alderman Jones,
Yes.
Alderman Barron,
Yes.
Alderlady McDowell,
Yes.
Alderlady Hampton,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, Mr. Burroughs Company, your application this evening is denied. We will reach out to you, though, if there's something that we can discuss maybe in the future for what the city of Markham plans to do. If you're still available, we'll certainly talk with you. But at this time, your application is denied, and we thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, all right. Okay, moving on, City Clerk.
Mobile Miller's Ice Cream,
May I make a motion that we open the floor to Miller's Ice Cream?
Okay,
Second.
are they here?
It should be on, they were,
No, they're not on
they
there.
were supposed to be on Zoom.
Oh,
I don't know exactly what happened. They were supposed to be on Zoom.
were they on?
I'm
Well,
glad
can I
they're not.
speak up?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm glad they're not. Now, this is for ice cream truck?
Yes.
Now, ice cream trucks are banned in the city of Markham.
Yeah, they are.
So how can we grant them an ice cream? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Well, here's what we'll do. Let's,
They're gonna be in
for
the
the
food
sake of
With the
discussion,
mobile
let's,
truck.
let's go ahead and talk about this.
Yes.
They're not here, but there is enough for us to make, you know, something, for enough, there's enough information for us to decide. I'll open up and then I'll yield to Alderlady Hampton. This is being put under the food truck manner. This won't be anything that's mobile to that ordinance that has been around for the last 20, 30 years now, I bet, and where you can't drive to the community. So we're just treating them like a food truck.
Okay, yeah,
That's-
because it's scary when it says mobile, and you say Miller's ice cream truck, you know, stop, it just says mobile, so
Yeah.
it makes it seem like it's moving,
Oh, no.
you know, saying mobile.
They're getting treated the same way. They'll be depoted at certain spots and stops. And Mr. Champion and Alderlady Hampton are working together with the building department.
Yes, I had an opportunity, Mayor, as well, to speak to the owner of Miller's, and I definitely made sure that I informed him that we have a city ordinance that we don't actually mobilize throughout the community. But with this application, I know we do have functions, events that actually come up. And then we're also trying to find good locations for the mobile trucks, which he will be included in as a mobile truck, as a mobile food truck as well, at certain locations throughout the city. So we're still working on that part. So I did get an opportunity again to speak with them and then explain that to them as well, so.
So the final is that he's just stationary like the rest.
Stationary. Mm-hmm. He's stationary.
That's indicated that it's stationary because we do have.
Yes.
All of them.
Yes,
And
they all,
we're
it's
making sure-
stationary.
And we're definitely making sure the ice cream truck
Mhm.
is that.
It's stationary.
Okay,
Oh, I got to close the floor. Someone who wasn't even
no,
here.
we didn't have to open it since they weren't here, but we can go ahead and take action on it tonight.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the license for Miller's Ice Cream.
Are we doing questions first?
I'm sorry?
I was just asking if we were doing questions.
Oh, I thought we
You
were
wanna
doing
ask a
questions.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
did
I'm
you-
sorry.
Yeah, we'll go ahead, Alderman, if you got a question now, we can do it. I mean, if somebody wants a second, then we just open the question if you want.
Well, I just think that it's, I was a police officer when we did away with mobile ice cream trucks. And I understand they're talking about stationary, but they're not stationary because they had to drive there and then they drive away when they're done. So they're not sitting on their own land. They're not paying any taxes. Most of them don't pay sales tax. To me, my experiences as a police officer was, we had a problem with kids getting sick. I'm just not, I'd have to see more of this operation to even be in favor of it, but I still think that the ordinance that's on the books would stand. So I think if we were going to consider giving anybody a business license under these circumstances, we'd have to go back and revisit that ordinance. That's my opinion.
Okay, Alderman, the conversation we were just having is that it's being treated as a food truck. That's now, the mobility of it is what the ordinance would apply to. We can double check it and make sure, but the mobility of the ice cream trucks and when you were a police officer, I know we had, not kids just get sick, they got hurt. I think somebody got killed at one point.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole, it's just like these food trucks, they can't mobily go through the community either. We're not treating the icy truck, the food truck, the candy truck, any of them any different. We're treating them all the same. So he's just got that much more, of a law on him, the ice cream truck, because it'd be double indemnity for him because he'd be applied to the food trucks as well as the individual ice cream truck that you can't go through the community, but none of them can. Right. So if you want to make a special provision, we can make sure and table it. They're not here tonight anyway.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Can we table it?
Just make sure that we don't let them move. We're telling them that, but we can make some special provision to make sure that they're included as a food truck entity in that regard, and then make sure that we don't change our old laws in any regard either. So, but is that fine? You all want to just work on it with the other?
He is truly aware of what the ordinances are in the city of Markham. I elaborated as well to him that he will be treated as a food truck as well. He does understand that he cannot travel throughout the community to actually solicit or sell his products, his ice cream. And he does realize that he will be stationary in particular areas, which is mainly based on our major highways, our major streets as well. So he does understand and comprehends his mobility in reference to operating his ice cream, his vehicle.
So
but if we would like to table it, that's no problem.
So will he be at a specific location, or he'll go to this location and park, he'll go to this location and park, he'll go to this location and park?
He basically, at this present time or whatever, it's not 5 days a week in the city of Markham. He actually, mobilizes through other communities as well. Exactly how he mobilizes in other communities, I'm not quite for sure, but I know he stated that it would be like 1 or 2 days out the week. And I stated to him that the locations, I will let him know exactly what locations he will be available to actually solicit for his business, which will be where the other mobile food trucks are located as well.
And that's on 160,
167th
in Dixie?
in Dixie Highway.
so would that
So
be
I
his
don't
only
think-
location?
I don't think so.
No, it wouldn't be.
For the city of Markham, it won't be. But at this moment, he's not rushing to figure out where to go in Markham. I told him that I will get back with him to let him know, a location.
We have to vet some more spots. The
Yes,
one of the
and that's what we're in
main
the process
spots,
of doing.
when I really started this, I've kind of started this because I've always believed in it. And, I thought it would be a good ambiance for the community. The court building was where I originally wanted to put a lot of people. And the reason why was because they had no cafeteria. And they were open to having that down in that area. And I thought it was a good idea for them to go there, but we just haven't really gotten that off the ground. And then we were also trying to work on restaurants or shops down in that building down there and try and set up food depot, if you will. And that's everybody follows them on. I got a truck I follow on my phone all the time, and they're all over the place. They're not down south enough for me. They're always up north, but they have an internet following and they just come to those locations because they know they can get food that particular day. So that's how some of them were governed. Some of them had other ways that they communicate where they're at. 167 has become a known spot for our people in this town for food trucks. And then we were going to try and vet other spots that don't affect other business. So we're still at the drawing board and the table, making sure it doesn't affect other business, brick and mortar. We don't want to do that.
Correct.
But it also brings its own ambiance, its own flavor, its own taste, and different things like that. So we're opening ourselves up to a different culture. And so that's really what it's kind of been about. And, that's really what we're trying to do. So the ice cream would be just dessert. If they're able to eat whatever they want to eat, then they have ice cream, We had an icy truck out here for our Fun Fest. They go to different places and they'll sit and park, So that's really what we're trying to do. So I see no reason to not move on other than to check. We can still check and make sure we're not conflicting with any other ordinance, but I think that Old Lady Hampton vetted and make sure that this gentleman knows what the rules are. It's no different than any other food truck.
You just want to see ice cream. It just brings back old memories.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
just, that's the
Not
reason,
Yeah, well, they were good when I was a kid before somebody got hurt when I
Right.
got older, but,
Right.
they were good for all of us at one point, but, just what it turned into, I think anywhere they're pretty much not accepted in a lot of places anymore.
As far as mobilizing throughout the
Yeah,
community.
so
correct.
we have that old ordinance, which is a good safety net for us, but I think they pretty much know there's not a lot of places they can go anymore. They got to be treated like food truck. So whatever your pleasure is, we can move on. We've got a motion and we just need a second if you're going to vote it up or down. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion by Old Lady Hampton, second by Alderman Barron. We've done questions, I guess. Let's roll call.
Alderman McDowell. Alderman Jones.
No.
Alderman Lady Hampton Hauser.
Yes.
Alderman Barron.
I'll abstain.
Okay, so
Well, I don't think we have enough no matter what we do.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll get back to the drawing board with this later. Okay. All right. Madam Clerk, continue on.
that is all I have this evening.
All right. Well, I will do my best under the mayor's report tonight to move things along. Every meeting and certainly every month that we go through from month to month, no doubt about it that there's always going to be mention of the challenge of the elements. So we're not talking about snow right now. We're talking about heat. So people really have to be careful right now. This is some pretty dangerous heat. So I just really have to caution people that are working and certainly people in the community. So we're definitely doing that at City Hall to be careful. Let me go back and just talk about for a minute, since we went through 3 businesses tonight, and actually out of the 3, none of them really got approved here tonight. And I really have to say that we all want business, but I have to take the words of the city administrator, because I didn't coin the phrase a hard reset. When Derek Champion, the city administrator, came in, he's the one that says that Markham is going through a hard reset, like you reset your computer. And it's true. And so some people may not find that we seem to be friendly, but I have to say that I believe that some residents do understand this. I say this with all due respect. There are male and female widows in this community. And I say that to say that sometimes that male or man or woman, they can choose to get married again. And some say, well, I'm not going to get married because for one reason or another, they say, well, I can do bad by myself. And I say that here in the city of Markham. This is not the same as business as usual Markham anymore. You just can't come by and get or pick up what you once did or pick up where you left off. Now, if somebody else, beats me in the next election, then have at it, and vote me out, and then you can go back to how you used to do it. I'm not going to be here. I won't be sitting here or in town if we're going backwards. There's no point on it. And so that's why we all get elected, to make these tough decisions. We don't want to hurt anybody. It's heartbreaking to see a guy like Mr. Harris, who's been here for 60 years, maybe 70 years here. We got to try and figure it out. But today is not a good day for his business and some of the others. So I have to make the statement that we are working on a plan, a comprehensive plan. We voted on a Buddy Bear Car Wash TIF. That's kind of what's going on 159th. We did some heavy duty lifting there that you'll see the fruit of it. I've seen emails today about Thornton's gas station. We talk about this stuff and it's still coming, but it doesn't happen overnight, and it'll take a while to see it. Now I understand why they say sometimes you need more time to be in office. All of the aldermen need time to be where they're at to clean up their wards. They're just getting in touch with you all about that. And there's some things I'm trying to rearrange at City Hall. And so that's what we're sitting on this dais for. And I felt, compelled to speak to the public about what we're doing here and why. And, we're here. I've said this before. I believe this strongly about all the council members. We're trying to make the quality of life better for everybody that lives here. And being told no doesn't mean that we're wrong about it. I think that's a good way. Sometimes we just have to do it to make it better. And I think that we are improving. So I just wanted to mention that about business and our future of our comprehensive plan. Administrator is working on that to get our comprehensive plan in line with businesses throughout the community. I want to make mention, we hadn't met since our Fun Fest. We had a very good Fun Fest here in Markham. We've had some good festivals. I know that all the ladies are having something upcoming. I know that Alderman Jones has some things that he has ongoing, and Alderman Barron has talked to me about a couple things he's planning. And I think that we're doing things in our wards and doing things in our community that are very good. And that was one of the things that I was hoping we would go into these wards and get people out, get them involved. Alderman Jones took it to another level to go block by block. And that is good, that we're getting people in the wards engaged. And that's how we build a community. And so the Fun Fest was very good. But there was something that wasn't good on the 4th of July, and we all know about, was gun violence. The gun violence that happened in Highland Park has been huge across the country. And so we have to remain cognizant of what's going on with guns and violence. We've been pretty fortunate and blessed. I was limited to some of the things that I would say about the police department and the fire department and public safety. I'm pretty hard in that area because I've worked on public safety myself for so long. So I don't give out praise too quick, but I think our police has come along a great, great stride to keeping us safe and protected. And I think that I hear that from the alderman as well. So I wasn't hearing that all the time. I would hear it from time to time about police and fire as well. We always praise the public works people, but we said a lot less about the public safety, but I think we're there to be able to really encourage them more, especially with all the violence that's out there. One of the things that I would say is that we're having a tough time at Public Works right now. Maybe the public can't see it totally, but I see it. You know, there's some places that we're a little lax. And there's good reason for it. You know, we had 6 people out today, either by vacation or by sick or something that was going on. And when you have that many people out, it's everywhere. And of course, that's not a trend, but you know, that is something that we're dealing with. We still have turnover in that department, and we've been pretty successful. We always praise them, and we're going to continue to do that. But I'm always honest about something that's not happening. There's some things in these wards that I not just hear from the aldermen that are not happening, I see it. And so we got to revisit that and not become complacent, and that's my job to make sure they're moving. And so I'll tell you that there's some things there. Maybe now we're shifting. The building department's doing well, police and fire, and I think Public Works, we got to help them out a little bit more. We're trying to bring a few people in to get that department vamped up again and get it going, because some of the things with the vacant properties I hear from you all is an issue, and we got to keep going after it and addressing it. So let me go over to speeding. I think that the speeding is starting to get a little better. The aldermen are working in their wards very diligently about the speed bumps, and you all can continue to call them. I'm liking that you're calling them. It's going very well. And but you all, the aldermen, have done a great job, in my opinion. They've all done well in placing them, and it's going well, and there's more to come, that's for sure. And if they're telling you that, I'm telling you the same thing, more to come in that regard. A couple of other things I want to mention. This is our year, I think, more. I'll be continuing to talk with the aldermen about different trees that you have in your ward. Let's continue to talk about them. I'm of the opinion, if possible, we do have an outstanding street debt. So let's talk more about trees this year than streets, and let's get some of them down. And let's talk about, I know you all got lists for me. I usually try to get out there and I don't micromanage everything, but I really try to get out there to make a difference with you all with those trees. So it's part of my job. I'll get out there, put me to work. I don't mind, but let's get them cut down. Let me know what they are. The other thing I wanted to mention, I want to thank the council too. I made the Treasury Department a little nervous when I mentioned it, but we did have a meeting, the treasurer, myself, and the finance director, about these revisiting city salaries. You know, I'm for retaining and retention and keeping employees. I don't want them to go. We want them to have a good market salary where they're not thinking about leaving. we're gonna pay them and we're gonna make them work and ask them to work, and that's what we want. But we don't need to chase them down the street and try and revisit it and keep the wheel turning over and try and reinvent the wheel and try and get the talent up to speed and start over. We've gone through a lot of that. So I thank the council for your consideration in trying to make the police salaries better, building, and the public works salaries, we can move those up. So we did talk, myself, the treasurer and finance, and we're going to talk some more and we'll get a report to you. And, I just want to commend you all for the courage to do it in this time. Last couple items, the building department, I did mention we've been doing some good things over there with rebuilding that department. And I left out the Park District. I tend to forget sometimes how close they are to us. And I mean no disrespect to the Park District. We had a couple events and, we worked with them, and I'm not thinking about who's doing all the work and putting things together, and they do a lot. And I fail to mention that sometimes, that those commissioners have cooperated very well. They get their bills paid over there. We don't have issues. And Ms. Brown and her team, they always step up, and they're a very, very integral part to what we do here. So I thank the Park District and the commissioners and what they're doing over there. So I wanted to say it publicly. So you all are my witnesses. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I mean that sincerely. They were doing some things years ago. I commended the Park District when we were with sketchy leadership from my seat. They did some things in the town to keep us together, and they did a good job. So with that, I've said more than enough. I usually try and say it like an auctioneer, but I want to get it out there. And with that, we'll go over to the city administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council, President Marco. Just real quick, I want to just reinforce that we support small businesses here in the city of Marco. We know that, especially during the pandemic, a lot of small restaurants and businesses had to kind of rethink the way they do business. Restaurants couldn't, brick and mortar restaurants just kind of had to reinvent themselves, had to pivot and do things like food trucks. And that's how they survive. And that's why I'm for like incubators and commercial kitchen places, because those places kind of feed into that particular demographic. I think, we should really think about ice cream trucks and any other small business, because we support small businesses. So I just want to put that out there. And I know that when I first came to Markham, it'd be 2 years on August 5th, I was just driving around the city, and at each entry point, it introduces the mayor, but it says on the bottom of that, it says a city with a new vision. And we have to rethink the way that we do business. I know we're talking about drugs, but we actually have to think about our quality of life plan, which includes technology, green space. I had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Chattel and Crystal and Sonia and myself about creating more green space in the city of Markham. So we're talking about trucks. That means more pollution. And how do we offset that? We put more green, we put out for green space, and we're talking about partnering with MWRD with the grant, we partner with a grant to open up green space. And I know that I think the first phase you all are talking about, what I say is the nature nook, and which is really great. So at some point I know that the group will come and speak before the council, but I think it's important that we all understand that buses, trucks, all of these create pollution, but we have to find ways to protect the environment. And I think we have to kind of think forward. We have to have the vision to offset some of the pollution that's happening to our residents. So we want to make sure that our human capital is taken care of first and foremost. Also, I just want to go into my report just real quick, Mayor. I had a call with the county President Kirk Winkle was just updating all the mayors and managers yesterday. As some of you may or may not know, Cook County set up a loan program to help local governments manage the tax delays. Yesterday, they talked about the program. It's going to be about $300 million, but I'm just going to read a couple bullet points. The collection and distribution of property tax revenues are expected to be delayed by 4 months. And the delay will disproportionately affect disinvested taxing districts and subsequently residents in low-income communities like Markham. So I know the mayor and I, we talked about this, and Christina's already on top of it. This is an interest-free loan program. So we may not have to use it, but there's funding available in case we need it to deal with day-to-day operations here. Also want to thank the council for approving the new TIF district. I think now things can really move forward. I'm really happy and enthusiastic about the direction that the city of Markham is going in. One of the things that I know that we've been really intentional about is bringing the right businesses in Markham, and the time is now. We have beer options, had some great meetings with some great restaurants. We have a suite of incentives that we definitely can offer individuals that want to do business here in Markham. So really excited about that. Also, that's it. I think that wraps my update.
Well, that just, I do want to, Alderman, I will say to all of you, the CDBG grant application went through for 2021, and each of you have got, I think, one street, but it's almost like a block. So if you want me to let you know, I can give you that block. So I didn't choose it. So I usually go out and do the cutouts, that kind of thing with you all or something, but this just came off the grant. You know, that comes off of the, I forget the word where they use it, that street qualified for, there was a qualification process for the street. So they choose that from.
Right, they did a study of the streets that needed the most work from aging infrastructure.
Right.
You know,
Right.
So that's how they did it.
So I talked with the engineer and told them the engineer company, and the way that they had it, I said I wanted to spread it out. I just sooner spread it to all 4 wards than to just have it. You know, I've seen it where we just did 1 street, 1 ward, and the way we're doing streets anyway, we might as well spread it out. So everybody's going to benefit with this. The way I kind of talked to them about using the streets they picked, I just made them divide it.
1 street or 1 block?
It's a block. That's all it really comes to, is a block. It's about a block for everybody, just about. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just I wanted to backtrack. So I think it's going to be important for the city of Markham if we could carve out some land for a food truck park, so we can have a designated area just for food trucks. And then that way, everybody can rally to that particular location. Of course, they have to move I mean, it's going to be a mobile truck, but they have to move, but they are stationary trucks. In that way, accidents happen, and it doesn't have to be a food truck
Right.
or ice cream truck. Your car could be one of these big trucks coming off the highway, but things happen. But we just have to make sure that we're prepared for small businesses, and I think that this is the way that we can support them.
Old Lady Hampton was working on that. That was something we talked about. I thought I mentioned it to you. I apologize, but we're working on all the logistics with it. We talked about it, and we're going to pull you in with Rob to get it. Yeah. So she's been working on it. We've been talking about it. So then nobody gets left out. The only other thing I was going to mention, since you mentioned about business, we do have one of the companies that we met in Vegas with, the coffee shop. They have interest to do a coffee shop here. I found a franchise person wants to enter into the franchise. So keep you posted on that. So they're trying to compete with Starbucks. You all met them. I think you all met Scooters. Right. So they really want to get these shops out, and I had someone to contact me that they were interested. So that's good news. So, all right. With that, we'll go over to Aldermanic reports, and good evening, Alderman Jones.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
Mine's pretty lengthy. You know, we was out on July 6th, so got a lot of stuff filled up there.
All right, good.
The first thing is I'll let people know in the city of Markham for residents, ComEd has a great program out right now, only within the city of Markham. And what it allows is discounts, major discounts on your lighting. They're changing the style of the light to LED. So say for instance, they do a building that costs $5,000. You can get it for like $1,000 down. And they take a portion of it. I like to sit down with Derek Chapman and see if the city of Markham can take a benefit of this. But they do all the lighting LED, even in this room, that you're getting LED, which is a cost saving to the city of Markham. But it's also to municipalities along with businesses. So if you have a business that you want to update your lighting, it's only for businesses. If you want to update your lighting, give me a call and I'll let you know about the program. But it's offered within the city of Markham. ComEd have this money, this pool of money that's been sitting there. And because of COVID, it has actually doubled. So they need to get rid of this money. So Markham, Hazel Crest, Country Club Hills are some of the areas that can take advantage of this discount with ComEd. So I think that we need to definitely look into that if we get a chance. And any businesses in Markham, please give me a call so I'll let you know about that application. Mayor, once again, thanks for the speed bumps. I've been getting them but praise about the speed bumps. If any ward don't want their speed bumps, please give them to me. I have no problem getting speed bumps because, you know, it's funny that, you know, I put the speed bumps strategically in locations where they speed, and now they speeding on the other streets. So it's like, they know the speed bump is there, so it's
So
working.
they go around the other way. They go down another street.
Yeah, we've seen them do it.
Right, so thank you, man, for the speed bumps. I mean, I'm getting them calls, but I'll be at your door asking for more speed
Okay, we
bumps.
got more of them, so we'll put them out.
All right. The idea of the block club is still out there available for block club parties, the 3rd Ward. If you're interested in a block club party, I've had 3 so far, so please, you know, I would love to do more block clubs before the summer ends. Mayor, speaking about flyers, is it okay if I put flyers out on different events like August 6th, August 13th? Because sometimes, you know, people like, you know, they got the flyer late, they didn't get it all. How are we getting the word out? Are we doing mailers? Are we doing, you know, how are we getting the word out for the flyers?
The last matter that we did for the city function, if you're doing your individual functions, I mean, you can, you know, we can contribute to that. I mean, I'm not sure how they're doing the wards. They've done them by flyers themselves. I'm not sure if they're going to do mailers or not for the wards, but we can visit that budget-wise and work as a team for, I know we have expenses, but that could come out of, you know, the event line to get notifications, got to be part of it. If we're going to have a successful event, the event's no good without notification, so we just have to budget that in. So how you want to do it? You want to do it, pay somebody to deliver them by hand, or we can mail them?
Okay,
Whichever one you choose.
okay,
I
okay.
think we did some mailers in the Fun Fest this time.
Yeah, it
And it
was.
was more successful.
Good.
Well, it might have
Reached
been too
everybody.
successful.
No, it wasn't. It was good. It was really well done. Also, Mayor, kudos on the beautification project. I see they're cutting the trees down. I like the landscaping we're doing on 159th Street. My kudos go out to Stoneworks Construction. I hope I'm getting the name right. Vision Works.
Yes.
Vision Works. I love the work. You know, it's looking really good. You know, I'm getting them, but you know, kudos about the work being done. So thanks again for that. You know, I mean, it's an excellent job. Beautiful people. Great work.
Yep.
So kudos to Vision Works
Yes.
contractors for their work. One thing though, coming down 159th Street, we have that car lot, Car Express, and the weeds just get out of hand. And so I have to give kudos to Todd Clayton and bringing the youth over there to cut those weeds down. But also at the Walgreens in that vacant lot, grass is growing everywhere. Is Storage going to cut that, or can we go over there and start cutting that?
Yeah.
And get that taken care of?
Mr. Champion, why don't we talk to them about, tell them if they don't do it, we're gonna do it and we'll send them a bill.
Yeah, I'll reach out to you.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, because how long are we gonna have the youth? Because I still have a couple of vacant houses. That's my next thing. These vacant houses, they're cutting them and they doing a great job, but I have more and
I
more.
think we got until August, right? Sometime in August. They don't go back to school till August.
Okay,
So we got them. So just let us know let Mr. Champion know.
okay, the list of houses,
Yeah,
vacant houses.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. And are we doing anything with the vacant houses ourselves to put them back on the tax roll? You have
I think we're getting towards the end of this court case because
Okay.
I'd like to talk about, that was in my report. I just didn't, it would have took me more time to start elaborating. I'd like to start, maybe we could do this. We could start the vetting process of several different investors. Let's at least start that because eventually that's what's going to happen. That we work out redevelopment agreements that make sense, that aren't illegal or attorney legal, because that's what happened. And we managed this time as we should. I don't want to get into dollar programs because we didn't sell that property on Dixie Highway for $1 tonight.
Right.
That's not how it works. So, we've been through that one, but I think we could start the vetting process of investors that have the capital, that have the experience and the capacity to do it. And they've got a proven product and they're gonna put home ownership out there. So we could start that and find out how quick we're gonna close this case up. I'm so frustrated with I've had literal fights with the attorneys myself, to try and close it out. Not the attorney, no. There's attorneys under him. That's right. That's right. But anyway, we'll do this the right way, and you're right, Alderman. So thank you for bringing that up. We have no issues with commercial property. It's just all residential.
Yeah.
About entering into agreements. So commercial, we've been working out fine. That's what happened tonight. If we could do commercial residential the same way, oh my goodness. We turned it to be a 360.
Oh,
yes.
So we'll start working on it. Mr. Champion can get busy on it. We'll report back to you all about trying to come up with the program to get a vetting process for letting them come and interview with us.
Mayor, just to kind of speak to that just a little bit. Attorney Fountain has been.
Oh, yeah, right.
We've already been engaged
Yeah.
in that process, just trying to put the framework together.
And she told me, believe it or not, thank you, that we don't have to reinvent the wheel a whole lot because Cook County Land Bank did a lot of footwork.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can almost use them as a model. We were doing what the Land Bank was doing years ago before I sat here, but I think we got too comfortable with it.
I see.
We got too good for our own britches, as they
Okay.
say. That's what happened. So go ahead and do your report, and we'll work on that.
Okay, great. And that's all I have to say. That's pretty much it. So that was the key thing.
I'll work on that. That's exciting to me because that's very, very good that you brought that up. Okay, thank you, Alderman. Good evening, Alderman Barron.
Okay. I will echo Alderman Jones's sentiment. I know we have stayed away from residential properties, but I've got houses in my ward that have been there for over 10 years. So I think it's time for us maybe to come up with a newer program with more safeguards, and also possibly I've had a couple of builders that took over houses that I swore couldn't be saved, and they did. And I tip my hat to them. So maybe we have to vet maybe a dozen or so companies, and then at a council meeting, we can throw their names in a hat and pull out 3 or 4 of them and award them 3 or 4 properties apiece, as long as we have strong safeguards. And when I mean strong safeguards is that the tax bills are cleared up, the water bills are paid, any fines that are associated with the property. And if they're willing to do that and they're willing to go into a working agreement with us that from the time they take over that property, 6 months later, that house will be up for sale, then I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'll be part of the
I'm
oversight. I'll be part of the oversight committee if you need it, but I've just got houses that have been sitting. I've got one sitting over by a church on 164th off of, uh, well, actually, it's 163rd Street by the ball fields, but that house was at one time livable. Now I don't even know it can be saved. And, it's been boarded up by us, I don't know how many times. The basement is flooded, full of water. So, I mean, there's health concerns. I've got a house at Hamlin and Rose Manor. You're very aware of, Mayor.
Yeah. Yeah.
The back of the building is falling out. We just got it on the 24th. Now we're applying for the demo permit. Hopefully we have it in the next 10 to 12 days because I have a neighbor over there that she checks in with me every 2 weeks. And I just had a conversation with her yesterday. So the family fest was wonderful. Had a great time. The weather got to me a little bit today, which is why I'm not in person at the meeting. But I just caution anybody, if you've got senior citizens that are out, just check on them. Some of them absolutely won't use their air conditioning until they think it's going to boil over. But it today got to me, so I can only imagine what it's like if I was 80 or 90. So, and Public Works, I know they've been trying to get through all this stuff, but it's just like these weeds and this grass is growing faster than they can keep up with it. But our guys are putting up a valiant struggle, and I thought, as a personal observation, at least in my neighborhood, I thought it was one of the best 4th of Julys we ever had. As a matter of fact, I didn't hear a firework after midnight, and I thought the fireworks that did go off were minor. So I really think that the increase of the police patrols and the warning things that we put out on the corner and the postcards that we mailed out, I believe that there was some success with that. So I'll just sum up my report saying that I thought it was one of the better 4th of Julys that I think I've been a part of. So, and kudos to you and your administration.
Thank you, Alderman Barron. I was going to say the same thing about the 4th of July, but then I was going to joke and say they were all over in Alderman Jones's ward. That's where all the noise was.
As long as they're not the 4th.
We got a charge out of it, me and Alderman Jones, because once it got quiet, I think it worked out for him over there because he only had 1 or 2 spots that were bad for him. But you're right. I think that we did have it because I think our Lady Hampton, they can all report themselves, but I think she said it was okay, and I didn't hear Old Lady McDowell say a lot. So I had to call the police twice, though. I did myself. My neighbor would not stop in the middle of the street, and I called. So, neighbor, I called. But I didn't know it was my neighbor, to be honest. It was far enough down the street, I did not know who it was, but I just had to call. It was just too late. None of it's right, but it was entirely too late. You can't stop it totally. It's kind of hard, but you're right. So, it was better. So, thank you for your report, and I just had to add that I think people ran out of the loan money this year. That's what it could be. They had other things to do with the money. Okay, Alder Lady Hampton, good evening.
Well, good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Good evening, residents. Those online as well. I just want to start off in reference to the First Ward Fest, which will be August 27th, which is on a Saturday. Please make sure you mark your calendars for the Ward 1 Festival. Basically, you will be receiving information via mail in reference to all the details, the activities that will be taking place as well. So please mark August 27th on your calendar. Also, I want to state that our bingo, which is actually held in Ward 1 at the Park District Gymnasium, is actually going very, very well. We will not have a bingo for the month of August. August is truly a very busy month. City of Markham, we have a lot of activities going on, so it has been canceled for August, and it was resumed in September. Also, I want the residents to know we have already started thus far cutting down a lot of the tree debris that are actually in our easements and in our field. So if you see debris on the side of your home, on the parkway or whatever, please be aware that we are cutting down the easements and the trees in certain areas, and Public Works will come around and pick it up. I had some phone calls. One resident called and said, I just saw this landscaping company from some other city or whatever dumping. So just please be aware that we are cutting down in the easements and in our fields as well. Mayor, I don't know if it would be permissible, I'm asking for your permission if I can just briefly speak in reference to the incident on Hermitage.
Yeah, you might want to not speak too much on.
Correct, just
Yeah,
briefly.
'cause it's a,
Yes,
it's a
very little. Yes, for the residents that have called, stopped by my home, yes, we did have an incident on Hermitage Monday. I think that was Monday or Tuesday. It's one of the days, Monday, I believe. On Monday, we did have an incident in reference to a home on Hermitage. The City of Markham police officers are actually handling that at this present moment. Once they get an opportunity to release some information, I can actually bring that information to the residents in Ward 1. And yes, I know all the residents in the city wants to know what's going on, but also for Ward 1, once I get information or get permission, I can share more. But right now, it was an isolated case.
Yes, that's good. What it did, that
Yeah.
you mentioned was isolated.
Isolated case.
That's the best point of all.
Yes. Okay, moving forward, Mayor. Speed bumps. I have went back to the residents that I actually strategically placed the speed bumps to get a report on how the speed bumps are actually being effective in the wards. I have to honestly say they are very, very effective on the streets, but I have to agree with Alderman Jones as well. We find a lot of the cars, they go down a different street now. So they don't go down the street where the speed bumps are. And I have also informed the residents that please be aware that we are strategically placing more speed bumps down in areas where I felt that were more crucial or bigger concern. So we're moving forward and you'll see more speed bumps down. Also, we're gonna have in Ward 1, we're gonna actually have a speed warning sign as well, showing you exactly what your speed is on that particular street or whatever the case may be. Hopefully that will help slow them down a little bit more as well. So that should be coming next week, Monday or Tuesday of next week. So Ward 1, please be aware of that as well. Other than that, Mayor, I just want to give kudos out to our police department. I thank you, Mayor. We're getting the opportunity to actually hire more police officers, which is well needed. I'm pretty sure that they're being trained correctly, and a lot of them are a lateral move, which is awesome because they don't require them to have a lot of basic training. They already come with that. So I want to thank our police chief and our deputy chief as well, Jenkins and also Harris, for moving forward with expeditiously getting them hired on with the city of Markham. So I have seen an increase in my ward, but looking forward to seeing more of an increase with more police officers on hand as well. Other than that, Mayor, I think that's everything I have at the moment.
Okay, thank you, Alderlady Hampton. Good evening, Alderlady McDowell.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council, and residents that is present. I want to thank the city of Markham and the mayor, along with the council and all those that worked on the family concept, which was a great success. A lot of kudos to Director Quentin Brown and her staff. It was absolutely fantastic, and the residents really enjoyed being able to come out and being part of the family concept. Also, all Markham residents, we in the second ward had an incident with one of our residents. I want to encourage you all, if you have a problem with your neighbor and you're not able to talk to your neighbor, call police. Come to building and housing if there's an issue going on with a particular home. We had a longtime resident in Markham. It kind of broke my heart. I found out about it on my way here tonight, where the resident ended up getting arrested. And I think that we can avoid some of this with the tempers of people now. It's a little bit more hard trying to address people. And I'm just asking you all, if there's a problem, let's try coming to the city hall, into our building and housing, see if we can rectify this, and calling the police. Okay, if any way we can help, we'll call your alderman and see if they can give you some advice of how you can go with the process. This really kind of broke my heart what took place. Also, Mayor, we need some funding in the second ward. I got some really, really bad streets. Before I came here, I had another resident call where the sewer line on Honorary, it is very bad. Public Works is out there. If they were out there before I came in to try to rot that out. From 167 to 165th. Driving down the street, it is just really bad. Your cars are going down. They just fixed the cave-in on Walcott. In front of St. John, we have another cone. We got another cave-in that's getting ready to take place there. Winchester, from 167 to 165th. It's almost like we're riding on a roller coaster. I don't know if Mr. Champion, we need to find some kind of grants. Those streets are extremely bad.
Yes.
And basically that's the end of my report.
I had a similar conversation with Alderman Barron, Alderlady, about the grant work that we need to get busy on. I think we need some federal dollars.
Yes, ma'am. Myself, Todd, and we're working with an engineer. We have identified some funding to deal with that issue. So,
yeah. So we'll definitely revisit that and get back to it. Mr. Champion, I know you wanted to mention one other thing before we go to public session.
yes, just like I would have not forgiven myself had I not thanked our treasurer, Linda Richardson, and her teammates over at Wintrust. They created the South Suburban Community Leadership Council. It's comprised of a lot of stakeholders from the region. But one of the things that I know that they're focusing on is the CRA, the Community Reinvestment Act. Yes. And some of the things that they are focusing on and really want to make an impact in the city of Markham with some of the things that we discussed. We talked about consumer financial education, first-time home buyer ownership, credit building, and fraud prevention, community social services, family support, elder abuse awareness, feeding the hungry, business literacy, also business networking, economic enhancement, job fairs, mock interview, and resume workshops. So that's just the beginning, but I wanted to just let everybody know that Wintrust is really stepping up and wanting to give back in an impactful way in the city of Markham. So kudos.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Treasurer. All right. Okay, we can go over, do we have a motion to open the floor to the public?
I make a motion that we open the floor to the public.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, good evening, public. We have a list. If you haven't signed up, you can. We'll still leave room for you to do it.
Okay, first we have Michael Smith.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good to see you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the council, Mayor, thank you for allowing me to speak for you today.
So you can give you the mic.
I got a couple of issues to bring up for you today, and you kind of touched upon one of the topics actually too this evening, but one of them is new, and it just actually arose today. Due to significant health issues this year for me, I discovered I can no longer cut grass. And I also used to cut the grass for my sister and brother-in-law, whom he happens to be a crippled individual and lives across from me on Millard. So between us, we found somebody that comes from the city, and it was a reference from a neighbor. He says, oh, that we asked who was a landscaper. He says, well, I don't do grass cutting. I do big landscape jobs. He says, but I know a retired guy that a friend of a relative, and he cuts grass. So we hired him to cut our grass. Today, the code enforcement car had driven up and down about 2 or 3 times down the street, and then finally pulled over and looked at his truck and said, you don't have a sticker. He said, the sticker? I don't know what you mean. I'm just cutting grass. He says, you have to have a permit. He says, okay, I'll go get a permit. He says, so he sends him to City Hall. He went to City Hall and he was given a form. And the form has, for landscapers, having to put up $1 million bond, a surety bond, all for the city of Markham, and something that costs in proof of insurance, and something that amounts to thousands of dollars for a gentleman who's retired and simply him and his son cut grass based on word-of-mouth references. He is not a business. We have similar issues around the area because our neighborhood has a significant number of seniors and elderly. There happens to be a gentleman around the corner who is a handicapped person. He has at least a half a dozen people in our neighborhood that for years he has cut grass for. I even saw yesterday somebody that you know who is a business owner in Markham. He was cutting grass for a neighbor. So I don't believe that simple grass cutting, A, should fall on the city if we have the resources to be able to give somebody a little bit of pocket change. It isn't any different than when I was a teenager. And I went around and cut grass for pocket money as a teenager. This gentleman to only come who lives in the city to only come for just my home and my sister and brother-in-law's home to cut our grass for a few bucks in his pocket during these hard times should be treated like a landscaper when he simply cuts grass.
All right, let me get the information, and I know how to contact you. I can give you a call, and you can give me the information, and we'll work it out. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be that difficult, and then I'll talk to the building department about the code department, about the logistics of what we should do and clear it up. It shouldn't be that difficult like you're saying. So, I mean, if it's somebody that's personally doing something, it's different, you know. So let me get the details from you. I'll call you on that. But you said you had something else.
The other issue, and you folks talked about it, and this is an issue that I promised my brother-in-law and sister I would bring up. This is an issue that years ago they've actually talked to Alderman Barron about, but it didn't go anywhere at the time. And Mayor, you and I have talked about abandoned, uninhabitable homes. Next door to them is an abandoned, declared uninhabitable home. The overgrowth is unbelievable. My brother-in-law would like to buy that property. He would tear down the uninhabitable home and just leave the lot clear because it adjoins his property. Yet it's been stalled and gone nowhere. And I hear you folks talking about wanting to do something about these types of properties. So I'm wondering where you stand on that issue.
Well, that might be an easier lift than some of the other things that we're contending with when we're trying to develop property in terms of residential development. If it's something to tear it down, then it'd probably be easier than anything else. So we'll take that into consideration. It sounds that way anyway. So, but I will give you a call on both of these, and then I think I know what is this on?
On Millard.
It's on Millard, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There was once a drug house and a lot of problems.
156?
It's over
Millard?
156,
Yeah, I know
30
it.
something or 20
Yeah, it's
something.
on the east side of the street.
On the west side of the street. West, yeah,
In the
west side of the street. They're 15636, and it's next door to them.
Oh, okay.
The addresses
yeah,
don't
west.
coordinate
No,
properly
yeah,
right
they
there.
go
They're-
really high over there too.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, I'll give you a call. on
Well,
both-
thank you.
on both
I
matters.
hope we can work some things out because all these young folks that are cutting grass and helping us seniors out, I don't think we should be holding them as landscapers and having
No, I'll find
$1 million.
out what that was about, you know, and you can call my office or Alderman Barron and we'll help out.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak, folks. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Mr. Mike. Thank you.
Okay, next we have David Sparks.
Good afternoon, Mayor,
Yeah,
Council,
good
members of the
evening.
public.
Yes.
I came today for a specific issue regarding a project that I'm working on in Markham. I think most of you guys are familiar with me and what I do. I'm a developer here in the city of Markham, also a third ward resident. Okay, you hear me? Okay, there we go. All right, and so, and then of course, there's a few other things that pique my interest that were discussed today, but I'll try to be succinct as possible. One of the issues that we've been running into with our projects that and kind of had a catalyst for that event that brought me here today is the water policy, right? So currently you guys have a policy where if you do not have an occupancy permit, you are not allowed for water service. And so what you guys do for houses that are under construction is you guys offer a temporary 2-week service turn on, and you only allow that twice. And so during the course of these projects that we're involved in, a lot of them are 4, 5, 6 months long. We need water for grout, cement, paint, landscaping we're doing, et cetera. And so, basically do not have the opportunity to do, to have any water to conduct activities. And so, we're hauling buckets from different properties. My mom, she does the landscaping on a lot of these properties. So she's coming to my house, hauling buckets of water to the properties of our projects. And that's kind of been our experience. And then of course we got to have places for our guys to use the bathroom. And we don't want to put up porta potties and bring out water tanks and stuff, because that gives a different look to the neighborhood that we don't want. We don't want it to look like a full-on commercial construction site. So we just want to figure out if there's an option, sir, we don't have a problem paying a flat fee, a flat rate. We put a deposit down. When we purchased a lot of these houses, we're paying off all the back due water bills in the first place anyway. So we've shown that a willingness to obviously pay for the service. So we want to find some type of workaround, because we ended up getting ticketed because we redid the plumbing system. And in order to protect the plumbing system, you have to make a connection in terms of water. And so we ended up getting a ticket because there was a connection without a meter, and that's the other problem. There's not a lot of meters available, and I know you guys can't necessarily do something about that. But so anyway, it came to that point because I'm here today because of that particular issue. We have no problem. We'll take care of the ticket or whatever. But we feel that we're acting responsibly and justly, and that we just need water service.
We can visit the policy. I mean, it makes sense. I know what you're saying. It totally makes sense that we got to have some construction meters available, and we probably just need to extend the time and probably even the deposit to it. Maybe it's a little higher so you don't run down the street or live on it, because that's all they're trying to do is stop you from living on it.
Right.
And in your case, you're more than proven. So, we can, and that's the thing. It's taken time for us to come to know you and your father as well, and your company. And so that's really what we're dealing with. That's why those policies were that way. I think that we can either change the policy and make extensions and put some other parameters in there, or we have some discretion in how we apply it to a company like yourself that has proven itself. So we can do one or the other, but we can solve it for you.
Yeah, something that's common sense. I mean, we get it. People steal water, that sort of thing. But by the same token, if you're going to pay, if you're willing to pay the bill,
right?
Let us have water service so we can work on the properties, because it just makes things that much harder.
We'll help you with that. I got a note here. So
sure, absolutely, I appreciate that. And then I just wanted to kind of, as a younger member of the community, as a millennial, just offer some perspective on some of the things you guys were talking about, like for example, with regard to the food trucks. So as you guys know, as you guys are in the public sphere and you study statistics and everything, a lot of people my age are moving, south, Texas, right? And one of the things that I kept thinking about as you guys were talking about the food trucks is Austin. If you guys are familiar with Austin, there's a staple there for the food truck scene, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the unique things that we have in Markham, and it's part of the vision that I kind of approach our business with, is that we have an opportunity, because of the housing structure that we have, we fall in that affordable housing range. So none of the properties that I've redeveloped, the highest price I've sold over there on Sawyer, and it's a nice brick bungalow, was $220,000, which is below the median home price for Americans. And we're, of course, redeveloping these properties so like they're near brand new. So people are getting a good deal. So the point is that if we have an opportunity with the homes that we have, once they are redeveloped, we could attract a younger crowd, a responsible crowd. Out of the 9 properties I've done here in Markham, all of the buyers have been millennials, mostly young women, a few young men in the tech space. One of the friends of mine that I graduated from high school with. So these are folks that are going to be interested in services like food trucks, where we have a designated location, exactly what he was talking about, where you guys can have a nice ambiance and a nice environment to attract that kind of thing. Because that's really the biggest thing that I see running around here. Is I go out of town all the time for food. I like healthier options. I work a lot from my laptop, so I like a nice coffee shop or cafe that I can go and work at and do things at. And I think, again, just kind of tying in with the housing, that creates the opportunity. We're going to create that affordable housing look, and you're going to have a lot of more younger buyers coming in, especially as a lot of the baby boomers retire and they move out south. We got to do something to keep people from leaving the Midwest. And I think we have a unique position here in Markham with where we're at in order to do that. And we've all of our houses now, we put office spaces in them for work from home because we noticed that's that trend from COVID. So, that's one of the things we do, and some other things that we do that I won't talk about in the open because I don't want to reveal intellectual property. But so we're akin to that, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. That I think that's whether it's whether it's a food truck, an ice cream truck, it's a food service truck.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It's sitting there, and I think that'd be a nice thing to have in the community.
Well, you make me feel like I know something. But you also look better and you're smarter than your father. So, because I went to school with him, so you can tell him I said that. His mom's right there, so.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, all the grandkids always get better anyway, so is that right? That's right. Yeah, no, you did a great job. We're very proud of you here in the community.
Yes.
And you really spoke to us, and you make us all proud of where we're heading. Hopefully, you're telling us we're doing pretty much the right thing. So we need to listen to you and what you're saying. It's very important to all of us. So.
And one more thing, just to wrap it up,
Sure.
kind of a selfish plug. So, with regard to the development situation, obviously I'm aware of the issues with the previous development deals. And so my solution to that, which I've talked to Alderman Jones about, is bringing the Cook County Land Bank in as a third party, as an intermediary to kind of help with that structure, to take the lift off of you guys to manage that process, right? So the unique thing about them is the land bank, typically, they kind of do their own thing, and they like to offer property out to the open market. I was fortunate enough through some contacts to be able to have several meetings. I just wrapped up one on Friday with Darlene Dugo, who's the assistant director, as well as Eleanor Gorski, the director, and their staff locally. And so I've proposed to them a specific plan similar to kind of what's going on with Harvey. I've got some involvement in the Harvey thing too, but separately, I wanted them to come here to look at not only Markham, but other towns, because they're really focused on Chicago and it's Cook County. So I said, why don't you guys come out here? And they're interested in a specific plan to where we're going after specific wards, specific neighborhoods. And the last meeting I had with them, they requested that I set something up with you guys just to at least start the initial conversation. That was going to be on my agenda this week to email both of you guys about that, because that request came from the director. We had a Zoom meeting on Friday. So, and we're willing to put our proposal forward just like anybody else. But that's kind of, I thought the land bank would be a good opportunity to put some structure around it. So again, it kind of takes all of the funny stuff out of it, because that's what they're there to do.
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, we're familiar with them. In fact, to be quite honest, we were almost around. You may not know that, but we were kind of doing the land bank before they were thought of.
Right.
And that was what Markham's problem was. We were just too smart. And I kid you not, I wasn't sitting on this dais, but I worked here. And so before the land bank was doing any of what they're doing, we were doing it in Cook County.
Yeah, they knew they started in 2014 or something.
So we have the capability to do what they do, maybe to jumpstart some of those things. We could still have a conversation. But I know that somewhere we like holding the authority if we can hold it, But
yes. So
but we got to be open to letting some things move. And as long as we can talk about it and it doesn't affect us, because we want home ownership.
Right.
So that's what we're after. So the control, if we can have it. So we should talk. I think we can have a conversation.
For sure.
No doubt about it.
And just to kind of give you an update, so Attorney Fountain is in contact with the land bank.
Oh, yeah, we talked
We've
about.
already had those discussions, so we kind of know where the needs are.
And we'll invite you along, okay? Yeah. But we'll just have to make you kind of a neutral guy, because we don't want to have you as a developer, you're getting the inside track, and we'll say that we're tipping the bid to you or something. So, but we'll do a disclaimer with you, okay?
Everybody offers their plan. I just joined the South Suburban Mayors and Managers Council, so I'm trying to do this with not only Markham. So I'm trying to be a fair arbiter to everybody. It's equal opportunity. So.
That's all right. So now he's politicking. So don't run for mayor now. You're doing good. Okay, who's next?
Calvin Hodges. that'll be it.
Good evening. Just want to
Good
take a
evening.
couple minutes.
Good evening.
Good evening. I didn't have the mic up, but I said 156 in Spalding, and here lately, at nighttime, get more traffic parked at the end of the street. Now, if I come in, like last night, my wife and I, we came in around 11 o'clock. Okay, it was a truck sitting there, lights off, everything dark, whatever. So we don't know whether they're trying to break in or whatever they're trying to do. What I want to know is it possible we can get a street light there? Okay, we pull up, they leave. So there's no reason to call the police because they gone. And it's to the point, I really don't want them seeing me, and my wife, going in the house. You know, it's like saying, well, this is the time they come sometime, this is the time they don't come. You know, so I'm just here trying to see if we can get those.
That shouldn't be, that's not a hard lift at all. What's your name again? Mr.
Hodges. Calvin Hodges,
okay, yeah. Yeah, we can, that's something we can visit. Whose ward is that? Is that Alvin Barron or yours? He's
I
on
thought you
5-6
said
in
Spalding.
Spalding. That's
You
you.
said what now? I'm sorry.
5-6 in Spalding. Is that you?
What's your,
I'm a little hard hearing. I came out and I didn't bring my hearing aid.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
Is that your ward? Okay.
Yes.
Alvin, why don't we get together on that? That's, we can work on that for you.
Okay, yeah.
That's not a hard lift at all.
yeah.
Right, it's
Take
right
care.
by that nursing home there, in the back, a lot of trees.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you.
All right. You got his info, Alvin?
I'm gonna get it.
Okay,
after the
good.
meeting.
Get it and then we'll go visit him.
Okay.
Okay. All right, anybody else? Do we have anybody else? All right, that's it. Motion to close the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, ayes have it. And is there a motion to adjourn?
Mayor, make a motion that we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Good night.